Magandang gabi sa ating lahat. Welcome to our 365 Daily Devotion Bible Characters Edition. So ngayon ay patuloy natin pag-aaralan ng ating series at ang paksa natin ngayon ay patungkol pa rin kay Moses at ang paksa natin ngayong gabi ay pinamagatang Moses and the Golden Calf, the danger of idolatry. So in Exodus chapter 32, while Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the holy law of God, the people of Israel grew impatient. The visible presence of Moses was gone, and in their fear and uncertainty, they demanded something tangible. So they pressured Aaron to make them a good or to make them a god so they could see, touch, and celebrate. So Aaron fashioned a golden calf, ginindo ang baka o toro. So and the people proclaimed, these are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. So this was not merely a mistake, of art. It was a betrayal of covenant. So God had just declared in Exodus that they should have no other gods before Him. Yet within days of hearing His voice thunder from Sinai, they replaced Him with an image of their own making. Idolatry is not only bowing before statues. It is exchanging the glory of the invisible God for something visible, manageable, and controllable. So the golden calf reveals the sinful tendency of the human heart, to abandon the unseen God for immediate substitutes. So sabi dito sa Exodus chapter 32 verses 7 to 8, then the Lord said to Moses, go down because your people whom you brought up out of Egypt have become corrupt. They have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them and have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. So, tuturuan natin dito, una, people are naturally forgetful about God. So, Israel had witnessed plagues, the Red Sea parting, manna from the heaven, and the presence of God on the mountain. Yet, memory alone could not sustain faith. So, when Moses delayed their confidence collapse. So this reveals a sobering truth about the human condition. We are quick to forget what God has done. So when we do not immediately see what He is doing. So spiritual forgetfulness leads to spiritual rebellion. So when gratitude fades, substitutes emerge. So the heart that does not intentionally remember God will eventually replace Him. So the golden calf was not created in a vacuum. It was born from impatience, fear, and ingratitude. Second, the people tend to invent their own gods. So the people did not become atheists. They became idolaters. They wanted a god, but one they could shape and celebrate on their own terms. So the golden calf represented strength and infertility in surrounding cultures. So Israel was influenced by Egypt's imagery and adopted as familiar symbol. This shows that idolatry often imitates culture more than scripture. So when people reshape God according to preference, they create a deity that affirms rather than transforms them. So the true God cannot be reduced to an image or concept, so that fits human expectation. So when we redefine God, we dethrone Him. So lastly, people can corrupt weak leaders. So Aaron knew the commandment, yet he yielded to pressure leadership. So that seeks popularity over obedience becomes dangerous. So Aaron attempted to manage the crowd. So instead of confronting their sin, his compromise allowed rebellion to flourish. So weak leadership magnifies collective sin. So when leaders fail to stand firm in truth, people drift further into deception. So God calls leaders to faithfulness, not applause. So the golden calf that stands as a warning that compromise or that compromise in leadership produces corruption in community. So application natin dito ng una, examine whether you have created your own God, no? So modern idols are rarely golden statues, no? They are ambitions, relationships, reputations, ministries, finances, and even theological preferences. So an idol is anything that occupies the place in your heart that belongs to God alone. So ask yourself honestly, no, what do I fear losing the most? What do I rely on for identity and scrutiny? Second, no, is establish in your mind that God is never delayed. So Israel's sin began when impatience. So they assumed Moses would not return. So their perception of delay distorted their trust. Yet God was not absent. He was revealing His covenant law. So what felt like silence was divine preparation. And last application natin, no, exemplify biblical leadership by seeking the peace or the please God or to please God. So leadership begins with private faithfulness. Moses interceded for the people even after their rebellion. He sought God's glory rather than personal reputation. So true leadership reflects covenant and loyalty.